I'm still processing how good that Tomodachi Life Direct actually was, because somehow it managed to answer nearly every single question I had after last video, and then some. All 3 of my main questions got answered, which honestly feels pretty insane because predicting Nintendo's decisions is almost impossible. So in this video, I want to go over what I got right, what still wasn't shown, and the new features that somehow raised even more questions than answers. Or maybe I just wanted an excuse to deep dive into this Direct. Either way, let's get straight into it. My first question from the last video was if the Miitopia Mii Maker was returning. I saw a lot of comments that surprisingly brought up good points as to why it shouldn't come back, which I honestly thought was very interesting and refreshing. The main argument is that Miitopia's high barrier to entry and lack of limitations led to less creativity and charm. But it turns out, just like I predicted, they ended up in some sort of middle ground. I assume this is to keep things simpler, but also give players the ability to add whoever they want if they have the creativity for it. It's not a direct port of the Miitopia makeup, but instead we got lots more hairstyles, noses, eyes, ears. Ears? Nintendo, what are we doing? Why is this the first time you can change Mii's ears? I've never really even thought about that till now, but Mii's have come such a long way since they were armless in Wii Sports. On a serious note though, I was a little disappointed it wasn't a port of the Miitopia makeup. However, this version also seems more creative with the fact that you have to draw it yourself, like Animal Crossing, which tackles my exact criticism of not having enough options on the 3DS. It's a solid workaround, adding a bunch of new features and face paint without giving full control like Miitopia. I think this is a system most players can be happy with, but I do feel for the Mii makers who got insanely talented in Miitopia and now have to pivot their skills elsewhere. I just hope you can download Mii's with codes like Miitopia. I didn't see anything to indicate that, so I'm hoping they reveal something along those lines so others can show off their own creativity. But after doing some research online, it seems like you won't be able to share Mii's or even screenshots over the internet, which is incredibly strange. I get Nintendo's worried about the internet doing what the internet likes to do, but this is seriously one of my only huge criticisms, and it needs to be addressed to keep this game's community alive years after release. And that covers what we saw in the Mii Maker. Nintendo decided to really hone in on the relationship aspect and customization way more in this Direct. I still have so many questions regarding the Mii Maker, but at this point, I think I'll just have to accept that I need to try it out for myself to find out. But holy the customization looks incredible. The number of predictions, or I guess questions, that turned out to be correct in this section specifically is just insane. There was one comment that gave me a double take on my analysis, which I definitely predicted on the safer side to not get my hopes up. But let's go through everything I got right and everything I missed. I was curious as to how they would handle the main shops and moving buildings around. I knew the houses would be movable as the handles were a dead giveaway, but I didn't know if you had free reign on where you could place houses and stores. Turns out, it looks like you can move just about everything. Animal Crossing style, taken to the extreme. You can even place your own custom designs on the road, as well as design your own custom building textures. I really love how much inspiration they gained from Animal Crossing and went even further with it. Now personally, I have no idea how I'm gonna be able to create an island like the ones shown off in the trailer, because I am definitely not an artist. But I was solid at making Animal Crossing designs like 6 years ago, so I may get used to it. The new road placement and custom buildings are going to fundamentally change how people structure their islands. I can't wait to see the creativity some players will have with these new additions, which is another reason I was hoping there'd be social features of some sort. My other concern that I mentioned before was if they decided to go full on Animal Crossing in terms of customization, how would the Mii's handle creating their own AI pathing if you can rebuild the entire island from scratch? Nintendo is one of those companies I tend not to worry about with bugs at launch, but this game is an entire sandbox to mess around in, so we'll have to wait and see. What caught me really off guard was when they showed off how you can move in with whoever you want in this game, with a house that can upgrade to support 8 Mii's. How in the hell did I predict upgradable houses? I really didn't expect you to be able to move in with just about anybody this time, but I'm all here for it. This genuinely changes the game for how Mii's will interact, especially because the house dynamics look really funny in this Direct. This was one of the most exciting predictions I got right, and it's great to see houses aren't exclusive to couples anymore. Just like I questioned in my last video, Mii's now have lots of furniture they can interact with outside, all buyable at Quick Build. The Mii's Mii's will now even suggest changes to the island directly, like adding more greenery, which is a really interesting and cool way to encourage the player to spice up their island more. And now that everything is customizable, you can even tailor your island's hangout spots to whatever you feel like, which is groundbreaking for the series. Keep in mind that none of the buildings in the 3DS game were movable. The Mii's only interacted in select few locations outside, but mostly were secluded to their apartments. Now they can interact with whoever the player wants by creating a custom hangout spot themselves. Just such an innovative feature for the series. Interiors were something I touched on briefly, but I really didn't expect color variation between them. It's still a preset like the 3DS game, but the addition of customizing colors adds a whole new dimension to personalizing the Mii's rooms, along with the picture we see in the previous trailers. It's a fine enough upgrade. I do wonder if Nintendo's gonna add just as many interiors from the 3DS game, or even more, or if they're cutting quite a few due to the amount of colors available for each interior. We do see some that don't have colors or very few colored options, so we'll have to wait and see, but hopefully there's a ton of variety like the 3DS. This direct finally revealed just how much they did to upgrade how nonsensical relationships used to feel in previous entries. Being able to watch your Mii's stories unfold is one of the best parts about Tomodachi Life, so with Mii interactions becoming more common as they now touch grass, Nintendo added initiations for developing romance like randomly bumping into each other at night. We didn't get to see how Mii's form their crushes beforehand, so this is a huge storytelling improvement. They even have rebounding now. If a Mii gets rejected, you can literally force another Mii to go cheer them up, which could cause a rebound. Nintendo is really trying to make this game realistic, I guess. They also added attraction preferences in the settings when creating a Mii, as well as a non-binary option. Obviously, I expected this to be the case and thought the menu would get complicated with all these new options, but no, it's pretty straightforward. Just a few checked boxes and your Mii is ready to go. Good to hear they're listening to the community. My only criticism that wasn't addressed directly was the fact that it seems like you still can't set family members, which could make things weird if they try asking each other out again, which would be disappointing. But I mean, everything else seems to have been revamped, so there may still be a few hidden settings you can tweak, but we'll see. Everything from the 3DS has also returned. Most of the confession options are the same or very similar to the 3DS, including locations like the theme park and restaurant. I don't remember Mii's being able to confess in their homes, so that's probably new, and I don't know what the island spot is either, but maybe it's one of the player's custom hangout spots? You can even stalk your crush now. This is a restraining order waiting to happen, and Hugh Morris is the GOAT. I don't know how this dude had a bag like that, but low-key, never bring any women around this man. And it's honestly pretty funny that Nintendo created a whole fan fiction for this trailer. Hugh Morris just shows that even in a trailer, a character can become a fan favorite through only a few in-game scenes. That's what makes this direct such a smart advertisement, as it gives Nintendo enough time to develop a story, which is exactly what Tomodachi Life lives and breathes on. There were plenty of features that I did not predict in my last video because they didn't fit the bigger narrative, but honestly, the fact that Mii's have their own unique quirks leading to different animations is such a cool idea. I can't believe I didn't think of it beforehand. No concert hall in Tomodachi Quest is expected, but unfortunate regardless. The sketchy market is back, where you can gamble in-game money for items, which was also a really good addition to bring back because every life sim needs a little gambling. Mii News is back, which we already knew, and it looks just as weird as the previous game, which is exciting to see, as that was another funny thing to check in daily on 3DS. The art style continues to blow me away as the food market looks less uncanny and fits in way more with the game's art style now. I really do love the detail and slight realism of the foods, especially now that they complement the Mii's more with new shaders and lighting. Same thing with clothes. A lot of the designs have been revamped to fit the new shaders, and they look great. I can't wait to see all the different outfits in action. Pets are back, and it's hilarious that you have to draw them as 2D sprites walking around with the Mii's. This honestly just looks more funny in action than practical, but I can't really complain. It's just funny to look at more than anything. The depth of this game's customization mechanics, down to drawing the favorite show of a Mii or designing a latte, is just so unneeded but so amazing at the same time. I have never been more excited to build my own island, even more than Animal Crossing New Horizons in that respect. It's like the devs fully understood what people liked about Tomodachi Life, Miitopia, and Animal Crossing and turned it into living the dream. And this is strictly from a YouTube perspective. I still can't believe they shut down Miitomo's camera functions. There was so much you could do in terms of expressions, clothes, animations that could really actually add to my video. Oh wait, Nintendo is limiting all sharing capabilities. Guess you need a capture card to share this game's content now. I mean, genuinely, what a great way to restrict free marketing, Nintendo. Aside from that, I really am excited to get my hands on Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. I already pre-ordered the game and expect to play it at launch. I'll probably make more videos regarding it in the future with more information as it comes out or as we get closer to release. With that said though, that's gonna wrap up this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so we can continue the road to 1K. Comment your final hopes for Tomodachi Life Living the Dream down below, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.